first thing about the contract is that the attorney, if you hire one, and we recommend that you're buying a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 home or whatever home you're going to be buying, please don't skimp on the attorney. Get that legal advice and get the legal representation that you will need.
So the pitfall basically in summary then is, it's not a contract till it's out of attorney review.
Exactly.
Either party can walk out of the contract without any penalties while it's in attorney review. The contract is lengthy. There's no fine print in there. It's all same print.
Okay.
So you're going through all the things and saying, what are my options as a seller and what are my options as a buyer? And both the attorneys then protect the clients and saying, okay, I want to make sure this option is available also, and I want to make sure this option is taken away.
Namaskar and welcome to Real Estate on Track on ITV Gold, airing every Friday at 8 p.m. with a Sunday repeat at 8 p.m. And for all the real estate questions, you can always reach out to them, 732-494-2211. And let's welcome, I don't even need to introduce you guys. By now, I'm sure everybody knows who you guys are. This is Sanjeev Aneja ji, and that is the sister, the most, I would say, loving and caring sister.
Hi, क्या बात है?
She'll tip you later.
I'll tip you later. हमारे बीच की बात है ये.
Exactly. So tell me, how are you guys? How was your week?
All good. How about yours?
We're blessed, thank you.
Mine was perfect.
Good.
Mine was perfect. So
You sound much better.
I do
Yeah,
sound much
yeah,
better.
that's great.
And,
Well,
I think it's the weather also.
It
has
is.
been
A
crazy.
lot of people are getting sick. So a good thing to use this time, and not real estate related, is haldi. Included in your chai, included in your drinks. It's a good thing to include.
So, Sanjeev ji and Alka, we have been talking about, for the last couple of weeks, buying and selling. So why don't we talk more about now the contracts and its pitfalls?
So, Pia, as far as contracts are concerned, in New Jersey, in all of New Jersey, you don't need to have an attorney, but we recommend that you have an attorney. So that's one thing. All our contracts are are pre-printed, already prepared by attorneys, but we fill out the blanks, right? And then it gets reviewed by an attorney if you choose to have an attorney. So our first thing about the contract is that the attorney, if you hire one, and we recommend that you're buying a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 home or whatever home you're going to be buying, please don't skimp on the attorney. Get that legal advice and get the legal representation that you will need. So don't not get an attorney, and also don't get the cheapest attorney.
Right. See, the attorney is your insurance policy.
Yes.
So do we need insurance? And we don't till there's an accident. That's when you find out that this insurance is needed. You need a good realtor, and the answer is no, till you find out that the good realtor took care of it.
Yes.
So any professional, A, you need the professional to guide you, but B, you need a good professional. Sometimes people will say, I hired this person because he or she was so cheap, or she was through my employment program. Those people don't give you much time at all. And then all of a sudden you're saying, what do I do? But now it's too late in the transaction to change your attorney at that point. So if you pay less, remember, you get less.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't work all the time. That doesn't mean if you buy the highest paid attorney, you'll get the best service. Not true. However, it's almost always true that the cheapest one will be the worst, is a cruel word, but not the best one by all means.
You'll not get them most likely when you need to talk to them. You'll get to talk to the paralegal the most time. But make sure you get somebody that's referred to you. If you can get a referral and have 3 friends who have used them, then it's fine if everybody had a good review. But make sure that it's not the cheapest. But that's number 1, is the legal representation and the attorney review. They make sure, and when the contract is written and accepted by the seller, that's when it's called an executed contract. It'll go into an attorney review period. And during those 3 days, the seller and the buyer both have the right to cancel the contract, right? So the contract must be initiated within the 3-day period. The attorney review can last more than 3 days. That's just an FYI. So that if you want to make sure that you want to shorten your cancellation period, you are now making sure that you're in close contact with your attorney to make sure your attorney review period is over.
So what's the pitfall?
The pitfall is that, let's say, the seller wants to get out of attorney review, but the buyer does not. The seller gets a higher offer. The seller can easily cancel your contract and take the other offer. And then you can't say, oh my God, I was about to do this, I was about to do that. It's not going to work.
So the pitfall basically in summary then is, it's not a contract till it's out of attorney review.
Exactly.
Either party can walk out of the contract without any penalties while it's in attorney review. So what's the pitfall number one? Don't start enjoying thinking you got the home.
Yes.
Because you didn't get the home yet, it can fall in attorney review. For the seller and for the buyer. Seller may think I got the contract, the buyer changes the mind.
Right.
Seller got 20 offers on it. The highest offer was accepted. The buyer has cold feet. And the buyer walks away. So pitfall number one, obviously, or the challenge number one, I would say, is the contract itself.
Yeah.
It is not a contract till it's a contract.
That's right.
Signed by all parties, agreed by all parties at least.
And so even when we talk to our buyers or sellers when the offer is accepted, we always say preliminary congratulations. We never say congratulations because there are pitfalls that are going to happen. And
Right.
or
We
can
say
happen
congratulations after the closing.
after the closing. And
Because-
we'll tell you why. We'll tell
Right.
you why.
Go ahead. So second pitfall
The
is?
second pitfall is inspections, home inspections. Now, you visually see a home. We are not licensed inspectors. We try and show you pitfalls, but there are things that we will find during a home inspection. Now, that goes to point two. Please don't get the cheapest home inspector. Please make sure you read the reviews. Please make sure that they look at everything possible. We've seen inspectors that are done in like an hour for a 4,000 square foot home. You need time. So make sure you're available. It's your home. You want to be there to make sure that you understand your house. It's going to take you a minimum of 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on the size of your home. But in that, they will check the structural, the termite, and the radon or standard inspections that the inspectors do.
Right. So in inspectors, we have seen people who will take a lot of time.
Yes.
But then there's an inspector who will come and he says, oh, the heat is on, the temperature looks good in the home, so the heat is working. That's not an inspection. That anybody could tell. You want to know, is there a problem with the combustion? Is there a problem with the filtering system? Good inspector is going to look at a lot of those things. Now, these people are still not heating people. They are jacks of all trades, but they will go much further in digging the problem.
Right.
There are some who will just look at the roof like this. You know, the roof looks good. The good inspector goes in the attic, looks at, is there any wet moisture in there?
Some will even go on top of the roofs
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
walk on top of the roofs as well.
So in some inspectors say they have that insurance policy that stops them, but I think sometimes they become lazy. So they use it as insurance. My insurance company doesn't let me go on the roof.
Yeah.
But there are some who will actually go on the roof.
Absolutely.
And now if it's cold, if it's icy, you cannot do that.
But are there any like fine prints in a contract that a first time home buyer or seller should be cautious about?
Meaning?
Like, usually when you see even an ad, there is fine print in the bottom, which usually we don't read. But then there is something to it.
I mean, and that's where your attorney comes in. Your attorney will kind of make sure that
that's where we come
in
too.
also. Yeah.
So fine print, the contract is lengthy. There's no fine print in there. It's all same print.
Okay.
So you're going through all the things and saying, what are my options as a seller and what are my options as a buyer? And both the attorneys then protect the clients and saying, okay, I want to make sure this option is available also, and I want to make sure this option is taken away.
That's right.
So,
And
that's if there's no
Fine.
there's no let's trick you like if you go to a used car salesperson and or sales dealership and they put in there, this car is non-refundable after you buy it in this small print.
Exactly. So
That's-
that's what I was like, is
Real
there a
estate
fine
contracts
print
don't
in a
have that.
contract too?
Real estate contracts don't have that.
Okay.
they're
Yeah.
approved by attorney, so
Right.
they're there. So that's the inspection issue.
But you know what, talking about it though, we have talked about this in the past too. We are talking about a regular general contract. If you make a shady deal with somebody,
yeah, that's different.
if a guy comes to you and I says, I'll pay you all cash and I'll give you some on the side and some on this, those are shady deals. There are too many fine things in there. Bottom line, we advise, we've done it for 30 years, it's against federal law Do you have any money exchange under the table? Do not get into that scenario where you are caught and all of a sudden there's a major, everything is lost in life at that point. Don't do it. There's no benefit to it. If there is benefit and you save 20, 30, 50,000 in a $2 million home, is it really worth it percentage wise? So do it right and you'll never have to worry about if IRS will come after you at all.
Absolutely. So the next one is like once the inspections are done, now making sure we were at inspections, we weren't even finished with them. If there are things that need to get done, now remember if you send the seller a long list, the seller can say, I don't want to sell the home to you. And at that point, the contract is terminated. If the seller says no to you about the list that you've sent, you can also cancel the contract. So that's another way where you can get out. But again, your attorneys will guide you on what was dictated during attorney review.
Right. So
on termination.
The contract guides what you can terminate and what you cannot.
Yes.
You just cannot say, I did the inspection, I don't like the home inspection,
Yeah.
I'm out.
No.
That's
Doesn't
not
work
what the
like that.
contract says. Unless specifically it was in the contract, it says, if I don't like the inspection, I'll get out of it. Now, when it was buyer's market, that was possible.
Yeah.
In today's market, you are saying, I'm buying as is.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting homes at all. Now, that's a risk that we also say do not take totally as is. Rely on your inspection, have the option to walk away at that point.
It can be as is subject to structural, major, environmental, right? You never want to say as is and find out there's an oil tank on the property because it's just not good for you. So again, there's a lot of caveats, and what we mention here are general broad terms. Everything is very specific to case basis. It's a human transaction. It's not an X plus Y equals Z, right? So that's how it is. Your third out is your mortgage. So God forbid you lose your job a day before closing, 2 days before closing, and your mortgage gets denied. And this happened to me. We were sitting on the closing table and they do a 24-hour check. And they found out that the guy was going to be laid off and they didn't get their mortgage. And the seller was packed. The buyers were packed because he wasn't expecting it. They didn't get their mortgage and the deal died. So that's what, to Bhaya's point, we don't say congratulations until the closing is over because anything can happen, and it has happened. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. So be aware that that can be a cliff point too.
It gets even bigger. One of my closings 30 years ago, clients were in Jersey City. The closing in East Brunswick was all set. They had packed everything in the truck and left for the closing. And they get to the closing and their attorney tells them, sorry, the closing is off. And he says, what do you mean closing is off? He said, the seller has declared the bankruptcy. Now, the buyer's attorney knew that the day before. Somehow they forgot to tell the buyer. But bottom line is, seller had declared bankruptcy. The Citibank was the bank. They wouldn't accept the payoff. And the buyer had to call the apartment complex and say, hey, I don't have a home. Do you have my apartment? They said, yes. Luckily, the apartment was still vacant.
Wow.
So in today's market where apartments go so quickly, they would have been on the road with the stuff in the truck. So when is the closing? Till you have signed everything, seller has gotten the checks, you have gotten the keys, God knows what can go wrong in there.
I think till you get the keys in hand.
Yeah.
Until you get the keys
How,
in hand.
how many
Then only congratulate.
how many
Then-
pitfalls are there? God knows. Who knows?
Yeah.
So sometimes the home is tenant occupied, and you think the tenant was leaving, and the tenant walks back in because they have the key. By the time you get to the home, the tenant is. So many horror stories exist also, but when I say so many, the percentage is very low. These things are exceptions, not rules that we're talking about. What Alka talked about were many. These are not exceptions. Finance and inspection and the
Yes.
attorney review. These are
your-
standard part of the contract. Everybody goes through that.
Yeah. If let's say if you consider a home sale as a funnel, these are your holes in your funnel, and how easily you can put the holes put in back is how quickly your sale will go through, and that's why we make sure that all these holes are kind of filled up with ease for you so that the houses can go from buying to closing. Now, of course, we do this all the time, and many go through. So it's not like these stories are eminent and this happens all the time, but to the one person that it happens, it means the world. And we want to make sure that we are telling you what your caveats are and what your pitfalls can be, so you can prevent that and not be that person.
Right. And we say all the time, a good surgeon is not needed
Yes.
till the surgery goes wrong.
Right.
See, or he doesn't operate right. Actually, good surgeon will perform the surgery so well that nothing goes wrong. But good surgeon is known for that. A good realtor also is there to plug those holes, like Alka said. So can you plug all the holes with so many parties involved? And the answer is no sometimes. Surgeon only has one patient. But even the patient has so many things that can go wrong. You do one thing and blood pressure drops completely with it. Now the surgeon knows what medicine, how to bring that pressure up, how to revive that patient. So that skill and knowledge has to be there. Can the problems happen still? And the answer is absolutely. Will the patient die with the best surgeon? Absolutely, yes, it will happen. But how many patients will die? 99 out of 100 or 1 out of 100?
Yep.
That's the question.
Absolutely. And if you have questions that are specific to your transaction or specifically, please reach out to us at alka@ontrackrealty.com or Sanjeev at ontrackrealty.com.
Yeah,
We'll be
or
happy
if
to
you
help
have any real estate needs, we are here for you at any point. Yeah.
Absolutely. As you know, if you reach out to us, but yeah, we forgot to say that. If you reach out to us, you also can win a prize of $25 gift card. So every time we
So tell us what you liked that you're watching the show, what you
Yes.
liked about the show, what questions you may have. Once we hear that, once a week, once we get that qualified question, then we declare the winners. right?
Absolutely.
And you will get that gift certificate based on however you tell us how you want it.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the featured home listings for this week.
Sure. We actually have two. One is 3843 Park Avenue. It's in Edison, on 0.46 acres of property. It has an in-ground pool. It has a second level that was added to a ranch. So what that does is that gives you a bedroom and a bath on the first level, which is so difficult to get. It has 5 bedrooms, 4 full bathrooms, and it is about 3,100 square feet. Listed at $1,125,000. So if you have somebody who's looking in that price range, it's a beautiful house, all hardwood floors, renovated bathrooms, recessed lights throughout, and on a beautiful piece of property. It's set back in, so even though Park Avenue is a little bit busy, it's set back in to give you that ease and peace of mind. That's one, and the second one is 1 Clive Hills Road, and that's 5 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. It's got an elevator in the house. It's beautiful, Texan sort of designed home, a very nice entry foyer, 5 bedrooms, 4.5 bath, and also on a half-acre piece of property.
And we have an open house this Sunday.
Yes, I will be there at the open house from 1 to 4 on Sunday. So for those of you who can make it before, that's great.
So if you want to come and say hello to I was going to say host, but she's not the host.
I'm not the host.
So to the
Special guest.
to Alka.
No, but they sound, whatever you gave the description of these homes, they sound very interesting.
Yes, they're beautiful homes. They're
Yeah.
exceptionally beautiful homes.
Yeah, Clive Hills is 5,300 square feet, and it's listed at 1.7.
Right, and again, if these are not the price ranges you're looking in, you're looking smaller, you're looking bigger, we have access to the whole MLS. So we can show any home. MLS has multiple listing service.
Yes.
That's where all the listings are. So we have access to all of them. So our team will be happy to work with you, guide you, and see you throughout the process.
Absolutely. This is our bread and butter. So you employ us, and you give us an employment agreement when you come and work with us. So we look forward to working for you.
We don't eat bread and butter nowadays.
You don't. This is
Well,
our bread and butter.
maybe you don't eat. we
We
do.
eat paratha and makhan.
I know.
There you go.
I know.
Bread and butter gay.
Amul butter and Britannia bread, India Ghee.
India Q's
It
type
was
thing.
so good. Yeah.
Wish
But
that
you
was
get a
your-
sourdough bread. Take whipped butter and sourdough bread. It's so delicious.
one day
Punjabi
we have to do a cooking show with the.
Let's do that.
Yeah, I
It will
think you
be
should
nice.
do
But I
it.
don't cook the bread, I don't cook the butter. I'm just telling you how it goes very well.
But he cooks really well.
No, but you do cook other things. I
Yeah.
know, we have been talking about it all the time, and I have tasted some of it. And
And you
Thank you.
apparently you're a very good cook too.
Yes,
so we should
I
have a
am.
cook-off between
Yes.
both of you.
Yes.
And I will be the tester.
Yeah.
Okay.
God willing, we'll do something big with cooking. Why not?
Absolutely. But let's, before we sign off, let's talk about your investment seminar you're going to be having in
Yes.
February.
So we had one planned in January. We couldn't pull it through because of certain reasons. We postponed it to February. So Saturday, February 24th is our first seminar. It's called Create Wealth, Retire Rich. Basically, we'll talk about many different ways you can put money in investments and then retire rich instead of working all your life because you were putting money in $8,000 bags that are useless. Now, if you have $1 million, 8,000 bag is okay.
I do not have an $8,000 bag, but he
I'm
brings
not
that up as
talking
an
about
example.
you. I'm not talking about you. I don't know what your
Well,
problem is.
whenever you talk about bags, why do you look at her?
I know, exactly. But she said, I don't buy. I didn't say you have it.
know, but I
I'm
know
talking
it's
in general. For somebody who has a lot of money, 8,000 means nothing. But because you want to satisfy that ad that said Louis Vuitton, whatever they call it, and your friend has it, and you spend it, now you didn't put it in investment. But this is just an example. We'll talk about many ways you can find the money, many ways where you should put the money, what options, what vehicles are available to that, and how soon you should start, and how quickly you can get rich. So bottom line is, if you don't retire rich, you have to keep on working all your life.
Yeah.
Now, I know many of our listeners are very disciplined and great, but many of us are not.
Yeah, Bhaiya will talk about the effect of compounding, which he talks about to us all the time, and it's really amazing how quickly how your money can work for you instead of you working for your money.
Yeah, and sooner you start, the better it is. But we'll talk about it. In
Yeah.
fact, I would suggest that if you are listening and if you're going to join, bring your child along.
Yes.
10-year-old, 12-year-old, 30-year-old, and we made that promise for first time. If your child is under 13, bring them along at no charge. So talking about charge, the charge is $50 to come. It's 100% refundable if at the end of the seminar where you say, you know what, I didn't get the value at all. Now, there's nothing new in this business at all, in investing, nothing new. We are just focusing everything and bringing everything to you together. So you may say, I've heard this, and I've heard this. Congratulations. Maybe if you've heard and you're already on that path, this may not be the seminar for you at all. This is more when you say, how do I do it? Where do I do it? When do I start? And that child who looks at that discipline. See, children follow parents very carefully. So if we are wasting money, chances are they'll waste money.
Absolutely.
Chances are, not always true. So be a great example, be a great leader. But that's what February 24th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 1 p.m. And then second one, we've also decided March 23rd, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Both of them are Saturdays. We did Saturdays because it's easier for people. They don't have to take a day off. Tell your friends about it. Bring your spouse is 50% off, or bring your best friend is 50% off. So for $25, you can bring them along. The price, the investment of this
is
seminar
nothing.
is unbelievable.
Right.
Now, if you say,
It's not even a guest bag.
yeah, you can go on Google and get all those answers also. So do you need to be in this seminar? Maybe not, but there is a difference by being there, getting the questions answered right in front of you.
Absolutely.
And
I think especially if you bring your kids.
Yeah.
Right.
And more than
they
getting
definitely
started,
will.
right? It's not about learning. We all learn a lot of things throughout our lives. It's that one moment where you decide to make a decision and actually do something. And hopefully this will be that pivotal point where you'll say, you know what, I'm going to do something. And that's what
and you know what, a lot of time there are people who give seminars, but they're not rich. They cannot retire rich. We are talking about seminar on how we started in this country and how slowly with discipline things. Now, rich is subjective. For one person who's making only $500 a month, $1,000 a month is very rich. For 1,000, 5,000, 5,000. So there is no rich level. I mean, even Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk fight on first and second. So there's no end to rich. We are talking about where it's comfortable for your style of living.
Yes.
Right.
That's what we're talking about.
Absolutely.
So we'd love to see you on February 24th. Registration will be open through Facebook. We'll have that. Or if you don't see it on Facebook, email it to us, say you want to come, and we'll absolutely be glad to have you.
Yeah, again, it's Sanjeev at On Track Realty or Alka at On Track Realty. You can email either of us.
Or you can go to pia@itvgold.com. We are good with that
Of
also.
course.
Yes, that's perfect. And
Yeah.
I would like to thank both of you. And I think today I really learned a lot from both of you.
Very good. You learn you say that every
Yes,
time. so
I'm
we're
just
happy.
getting smarter and smarter by the day.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.